love the hero's journey. I absolutely love it. I love movies. I love books. I love that story of there's a challenge and then the character decides, right? Initially it's just like devastating, and the character decides to change, to embrace, well, first to embrace this challenge, to say, this is not going to get me down. I am going to do whatever I can in order to face this challenge and get beyond it, right? And then I love, in movies, I love this reel of like, ooh, like what they're actually doing, right? The steps, the training, the books that they read, the people that they talk to, the places that they travel, the mission that they take on. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Anyway, hi, it's Christine, your emotion coach. I gotta get going, so I'm gonna take you on the road with me. But because I am running to pick up my kiddo from school who didn't even want to go to school today, because we are heading out of town to see his cousins, my sister and my mom, and my niece who has a dance recital. So we are going to go on like a 5-hour car ride in order to get there and be ready for the dance recital tomorrow. We are excited. My kiddo was so excited this morning. And like, when are you picking me up? Can you pick me up here earlier? And I'm already running a little late as usual. There's a whole thing. I almost made this video about anxiety and packing and perfectionism for highly sensitives. Oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about. But yesterday's Daily Fire, I did not get to it, and it was about the hero's journey. And like I said, I love the hero's journey. And what I was thinking is there are two ways that it can really benefit you to embrace that hero's journey, right? Number one is, what are you currently facing? What is going on in your life where you're like, oh, this is a tough one. This is really hard for me to face. This is really hard for me to embrace. Why is this going on in my life, right? If you think about movies and books, it's like we have to have that challenge, that disaster, that hard thing that happens, that just huge challenge in order to have that story arc, in order to have interest, in order to want to read or want to watch this, right? And so often in our own lives, we judge ourselves. We think that we should have a life devoid of all these issues and problems and challenges that come up, right? So often we feel like, oh, what can we do? Especially as highly sensitive, I catch myself like wanting to prevent a lot of things, right? If I just work hard enough, if I just get out of it, I can prevent this thing. And there's something to be said about that, right? It's great if you can kind of set yourself up to win and set yourself up to not have to face such great challenges all the time, but to also embrace the ones that come to you, right? So instead of judging yourself when something big is coming upon you, or fighting against it, of like, oh my gosh, this is horrible, this is like totally dragging me down, this is messing up the plan I have to do here, I was going to have to wait here, whatever it is. Let's not judge. Let's just like imagine if right now you have a challenge in your life, or the next time a challenge comes up in your life, if you get that initial, shock, that initial rush of emotion, that initial like, oh shoot, what do I do now? And then you remember, oh, let me think about this as the hero's journey. How can I embrace this as the hero's journey, right? And I'm the hero in it. So then what's the next thing the hero does? Yes, initially that shock, and then the embracing of the mission, the saying, yes, I'm going to take this challenge on. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And the next thing are resources, right? There's usually a guide that comes in. Can you look around in your life right now? Who is your guide? Who is there? Who can you make your guide, right? Brendon Burchard also a lot of times talks about who has done this thing that you're trying to master right now, right? Who has done it before? Who has gone through it before? Who has faced this challenge before? We live in such a great time. There's so much information available online, on YouTube videos, on blogs, in books. I love books. And it does help me, especially, and this is why I'm doing so many videos available yet in terms of stories, particularly in the viewpoint, from the viewpoint of a high priestess. And it helps so much to see that I'm not the only one struggling, right? To know that other people have issues, and then especially my peers, somebody like Louise Hay, somebody like Tony Robbins, like Team Graziosi, like Brendon Burchard, like, big names who have been in the industry for a long time in personal development for a long time. And then they're talking about anxiety, or they're talking about a hard day, or they're talking about getting dragged down by their emotions. It's like, you don't have to be perfect at it, right? That's not the name of the game. What's really important here is that overall you feel like you're steadily moving towards having an incredibly fulfilling life, right? You don't have to be perfect at anything. We're not wanting to eradicate difficulty or eradicate hard emotions. We want to get to a point where we can feel like we can master these challenges that come at us in our life. At least that's it for me. Tell me in the comments if you feel differently. What is it that you actually want in your life? How do you feel like your life is moving in the direction that you want to at the end of a month, at the end of a year, at the end of a decade, right? So let's come back to this hero's journey and you making yourself your own journey. Also, side note, one of the movies I loved with Kate Winslet was The Holiday. And there's this scene where she's talking with an ex-movie producer. And he's like, I can tell you're a leading lady, but I don't know why you've been playing the role of the friend. And she's like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. Yes, why am I not the leading lady of my own life? And so please, don't feel like big-headed or anything, making yourself the hero in your own journey. You are the hero in your own journey. You're living your life from your point of view. You're making yourself the hero, not because you think you're greater than everybody else, but because this is your story. This is your life, and you are the one facing the challenges, right? So make yourself the hero of your own story. And when you decide to kind of apply the model of the hero's journey, I think you will have more ideas the next time that you are stuck in a challenge where it feels overwhelming, where it feels overbearing, where you feel like you can't handle it, where you feel like this is not going to have a good end. See it as a movie. See it as a book. How would you see it if you were a hero in your own story, in your own book that you're writing, in the movie that you're in? What would the hero do? Where would the hero find these resources? How would the hero communicate? What steps would the hero take? Would the hero keep getting up, even if it's challenging, even if it's tough, even if there are a couple of things that really knock him down, right? We love those movies where at the end there's this huge challenge and the hero's almost at the breaking point, and then, gets totally knocked down, and you're like, just get up, you can do this. And this is how I want you to champion yourself the next time that you're facing a really hard challenge. To be like, it is normal to get knocked down, and I can get back up and champion yourself in getting back up. Oh my gosh. And the other thing I wanted to say about how this is a great idea to see it, see your own life. You know, you can even like see yourself as like like don't even see yourself as you're kind of seeing yourself as a hero, but make it into a book, make it into a story, make it into a different character. How would the character face it? How would the story go for the character? How would the happy ending happen? What is after that huge challenge, right? That brings me into like my wrap up of like the brilliance of, you know, Abraham Hicks, one of my favorite spiritual teachers. They always say, tell a better story, because the story that you're telling is how your life is unfolding, right? Law of attraction. What you give out is what you get back. The way you tell the story is the way that you're going to experience it. So, sometimes when we're in the midst of a really hard challenge, we have a tough time not telling it as it is, right? We're so stuck in reality, so stuck in telling it as it is, so stuck in, I always attract the wrong men, or so stuck in, I never have enough money, or so stuck in, my health is just not the way that I want it to be, you know? See it as a solution, see it as a story. How would you write that story? You wouldn't keep harping on the challenge. You wouldn't keep harping on the thing that's not working, the thing that's wrong. Yes, you make it clear in the beginning. We gotta have that. We gotta face that. We gotta challenge it. But then say, okay, where is the hero going from there? What is the new and unfolding story? How does this hero decide to embrace this challenge and rise above this challenge? What are the resources that he or she gathers? And what does the other side look like, right? Fast forward to the end of this movie, and I know I'm terribly boring, but I only want to watch movies that have a happy ending, right? I mean, maybe some that kind of leave you hanging, because then you your own happy. A good story, it has to have a happy ending. Just like I want to walk out of a movie or finish a book with a feeling of elation, with inspiration, with happiness, with joy, with excitement. I don't need more reality, right? I need something to uplift me. So fast forward to your own happy ending, right? What is the happy ending of this journey, of this hero's journey that you took through this challenge? What is the happy ending? Where will you be? What will it look like? How will you feel? So incredibly powerful. Thank you so much for being here, for listening, for joining me in the car. I'm about to be on my road trip. I'll still be doing my lives the next couple of days, which is like the first time I'm doing anything while I'm out of town. But I want to take you with me on this beautiful journey and show you what it's like as a highly sensitive to go through life, to embrace life, to embrace challenges. I hope this was helpful. Leave a comment for me. I love hearing your comments. What is your hero's journey? What have you gone through? What are you going through? I would love to hear from you. And I will see you tomorrow.